the opposite side of the circle. But now, well, instead of 2, maybe you have 4 teams doing that exact same thing. And again, it causes them to fight earlier. It causes them out of their comfort zone in like when they like to do their engagements. And it kind of just messes things up for them. But let's see now, day number 3, we're going to reach the halfway mark of games, coming in 2 games in the middle of this one. And hopefully, some of these teams have things up their sleeve because, well, they need to get something going if they want to take down Reciprocity.
Well, let's see if anyone can take down Reciprocity and how this is going to work out. Potential for these teams that want to go military now to quite comfortably get there. We saw Northern Lights go back and try and take control of this, right? They want to take military zone now. And yep, that's going to come in there again. They're already making their way. Unity will get Novo, no problem. So I think now we're at the point where a lot of teams have found their positions. But the likes of Seacorp here, they've got a long way to go if they really want to get North George. Okay, you can try and find the vehicles and drive up. But do you use this as a chance to say, actually, we are going to move around?
Yeah, I mean, you have the chance to make some moves differently now that the plane isn't really allowing you to go exactly where you would have wanted. I'm looking around Besiktas, they did a smart thing going Kameshki early on. They said, you know what, I mean, there's no one up there ever. No. So why not just do that instead? Jupsik, he also found himself a vehicle. Unfortunately, the vehicle also found to a UO, so let's just not look at that.
And they've already got a distance to travel, right? It's not massive. There's no other teams really going up to Zaverny. Okay, fine. But I mean, how awful would it be if another team like Reciprocity close by found the weapon, saw them do that, and went, all right, pick, and you're
also,
going down.
I mean, in the end, that vehicle probably could have been 500, 600 meters further up the road at this point. And with them not being in, sure, they don't have far to go. So it's not the biggest deal, but it's still going to be those few seconds that could be the difference maker in the end.
Are we really seeing this?
Hello, 3D Max.
3D Max and Avangar. So Avangar's been taking Primorsk or Zaki over and over again, right? They've swapped it up a bit. They've not gone for Milta Power anymore. And now 3D Max have got there, obviously just a little bit before. We've still got some of the players in Avangar floating down. But where do they now choose to go?
And look at Seacorp as well. Sunsi is proning in the cliffs. And then you have Ness and Balas driving off with Furex miles up in the sky. I mean, this plane, of course, was a horrible one. Yeah. And well, we're seeing the aftermath of that right here.
And this aftermath's not going to be pretty at all. I would not want to be part of this. 3D Max, I admire the ballsy play of taking Primorsk away from Avangar, because Avangar were very much in a situation of, okay, we got Zaki, we got Primorsk, we don't mind losing Milta Power now, we can change things up. Okay, they've still been getting a lot of kills in their games, but now you've just been bullied out of your position just because they simply got there before you.
I guess you can say, I mean, the only positive and the negative here is that despite a horrible plane, it was kind of compensated with a very centered circle, so that nobody really has that far to go, but the circle center that we know most people like to go to is going to be that Potato Hill area. We've seen so many, we talk about unnecessary fights, right? So many early game fights up on Potato because, everybody wants to be center. There's just not a whole lot to really take and play from up around there.
And it just reminds me, right, of what was it? It was Gamer Legion versus...
Yeah, and Personal Courage.
Personal Courage.
Yeah,
and these guys are basically killing themselves, leaving 1 or 2 players alive, and not really benefiting from anything. And every time it's on Potato Hill. We don't want to see that happen again. Yeah. It's not pretty for anyone. And it doesn't actually get you far ahead.
My mountain. No, my mountain. No, my mountain. It ain't going to give you anything, guys, unless if it's the final circle of the match, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's when it's acceptable. Circle 1, let's not see it. Please, no. I'm done with all of that.
Northern Lights? Yeah, as long as I continue.
No. I was going to say, like, literally with Northern Lights, right? Yeah. They're going to be very happy again that... Because remember, yesterday, they weren't going for the military bases. And then they just changed it up and went, all right, after game 1, clearly it hasn't been working out. Let's go back to what we know. And since then, they can be pretty happy with what's been going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're probably one of the few teams here to not be complaining about this plane path or the circle for that sake. For the majority of the other ones, probably saying, well, could have been a little further north, maybe. Just so we wouldn't have to loot all this new terrain, I guess you can say. A lot of these teams have been forced to go other positions than when they used to go. But that also, I mean, it kind of changes up some things for the better, I guess you can say, to a certain extent. One thing, though, I have noticed is that the Inside Games, they're playing with the sub today. Ostrolovak, he's not in. So Stamps is looting up in Lipovka for him. So if you guys are looking at Stamps, who the hell is Stamps? He is the 5th player.
Good, I didn't even notice that yet. It's a very good spot on there, and that's going to be interesting if this is a decision based on maybe just something wrong for Ostrolovak, or if maybe they're making a swap out because they want to change things up a little bit here. That's the benefit of having a 5th player on the bench there ready and waiting to go. And some teams, right, when we look down the roster, don't actually have an extra player they can jump in there if these kind of things do pop up.
Yep, this is also a team right here that I've been waiting to get active, Tornado Energy. They've had their moments of getting into the late game, but they've also had a lot of moments of fighting a lot before the late game that has cost them a ton of casualties. Oh, X-Team has his bike up there, just rolling casually down the hill, fortunately. Able to get it stopped and turn it around, get it back on up. But Sampeak right now, all by himself.
And the thing is, they have no idea, Tornado, right, if he's going to get some backup real soon or not. So they're not just going to rush and engage. So we've got a bit of time, at least for Zampeak, to hold it off. But this could have been a rough spot for him straight off the bat. And these are the little things where, okay, you take a risk and you push out and you gain some ground, but it can also be a very bad side of things. It's the risk versus reward again.
Again, how much? I mean, sure, it's a good compound to have. It's a good position to play from, kind of having that lockdown should the circles come there. But, I mean, do you really want to put all your eggs in that basket in case it doesn't? How much are you willing to risk trying to get a compound that might not even be anywhere near even just the next circle, right? So, smart decision, X-Team going back up the hill towards his teammates.
Now, Reciprocity on your screens. They don't have too much of a problem here. They're very close, obviously, to Stella. And they do have this little bit of a back and forth every now and again with just a few shots. But Stella was trying to pressure them out of this. Now, 3D Max on your screen, they're already rotating away from Primors. They're going to actually kind of find themselves driving towards Avangar here. And that would be an interesting one, right? Because you just stole their spot, you walk straight into it. Do Avangar say, all right, we'll take the challenge. We'll actually fight up with you.
People already tapping their way towards Unique. A lot of shots being fired, a lot of them connected too. But it seems to me like they'll be able to live to see another day. One casualty we see early on here, though, there's something we have not seen a whole lot coming into this final stage, is Reciprocity taking casualties early. Is this what happens? Is that the day 3 Reciprocity that is going to turn things upside down? Or who knows?
Well, that's finally someone actually challenging him, right? Not giving him that room to work with. Because Rafi, again, scouting out there, giving himself a bit of room to say, all right, guys, we can take this area. Well, not so lucky this time around.
I mean, you got to say kudos to Rafi. He has been the master scout for Reciprocity in the past 2 days. He's made situations that seemed scoutable, and found good spots for his team to go to. Sure, they've gotten some circles in the final couple of circles of matches their way, but they've also set them up, we talked about this yesterday, set them up in positions to get them, where they've had 40, 50, maybe even 60% of a circle full under control, and they've said, well, we've scouted everything, we know it's clear, doesn't matter where it goes, because we'll have control no matter what happens. So kudos to him, but goes down early on here in game number 1 of today.
And this is what I really want to actually have a look at, right, is, okay, Sequel, you've taken a big risk, you've driven up all the way, you managed to get yourselves up towards North Georgia Pole now, but how do you react to this? Because this is more like you haven't had the time you want, but also you've got a lot of space now in Georgia Pole, which means you didn't have 3D Max kind of waiting around you. This entry for them into the circle is going to be very open all the way up until Ruins, until you get closer to Rozok.
They do have some time to work with. The blue is coming in towards them, but now we see 7 as well. Also a team that had a 19-kill victory in the group stages, and it's as if that was their big peak, and then they have had a hard time kind of getting back up there. Ever since, of course, you can't expect 19-kill games every game, but they have not done anything close to it since then. So maybe, who knows? Maybe today is the day where they start popping off themselves. Everyone's leaving the military island. Unity will be the last team over. Have made their way on out already, so shouldn't be any big sort of threats in that regard. Unique still in the compound down here with Sukdet Nam looking down over, trying to see if they can get themselves some more damage done down towards them.
And there's Sons of Ninja saying, okay, there's not much I can do here. Maybe my teammates will come back to me. I'm basically just going to have to chill here and wait, because there was no hope of me getting out of this. I would have had to run through too many teams, and my teammates went already got their vehicles.
He's sat there since the very beginning of the game.
Yep.
Starting to wonder whether he DC'd or not, but if he DC'd, he probably wouldn't be on our screen, which means that he hasn't. He's just down there saying, guys, I have a spot in the circle. It's really horrible, but at least I'm in. So if someday you get down here, can you pick me up? And now, unfortunately for him, the next circle shifts away, and where it does go, well, straight down on top of Reciprocity.
What do you do in this situation, right? If you're him, you just wait and go, all right, cool, we'll just wait for it all to happen, and he's just going to let himself drop out. So he's just, lagged down,
I think he DC'd, Must have been what happened. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate, but it does happen sometimes nonetheless. And this is what we get to now. All these teams trying to make their way up, and nobody wants to drive over Potato Hill because you know how steep it is and how much teams can sit around and wait for you. But this means they all have to go around into open areas such as this one. And Besiktas, a very kill-heavy team here, having had a hard time trying to see if they can find themselves some easy rotation frags.
Yeah, and if they can get that done and get started, we've seen what they've been able to do in the past. Interestingly enough, we've got C-Corp, the rest of the team that didn't manage to lag out. They've got all of this north side of the circle to themselves. No one's going to be able to contest them for quite some time.
Yeah.
So, okay, they're maybe not going to get the early compounds of what they want more central, but they've still got some on the outside that have been completely left open here. So they're going to be thinking, considering how bad our start was, it overall wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah, there's no reason for them to really do anything aggressive from up there. Just play it chill, take your time, and get as much info as you can. Maybe even stay on the other side of the water for a little while, because nobody's going to be moving all the way up north.
No.
Ferex has gone over. Now AOG on your screen, a little outside. Most likely nobody will pick it up. Compa, the next team, they heard Unity move, but they're not going to take any, as I say that, Compa take shots.
He was thinking about it, and then he's like, why not? Now, Besiktas are still firing off, like you were mentioning earlier, right? They're looking to engage here, and they're not looking for the cover yet. They want these teams on the rotation. They want to be able to get off to an early lead, an early start. And that's one of those things where it's the confidence plays. It's the momentum base. Can I get this early pick off? Can I get a little cheeky one kill to start things off here and start to feel a little bit alive? Because that's what we saw from them on Miramar. Miramar's now out of the equation. It's all Erangel all day, and they can't afford to kind of continue this slow pace.
No, they have to get things going, that's for sure, if they want to get up in the mix, especially with some of these teams doing as well as they are right now. They cannot let them get too far away. Page trying to do some damage towards Drainley's, but he's getting a lot of shots fired in return. Swapping windows, trying to see if he can get himself a better angle, but somehow Drainley's is still alive and actually driving away right now.
Don't blame Drainey's either, right? Back away from that. Don't take the risk too much. Your teammates were quite far away. Even if you got the first knock, you would have struggled, but Standin's found some extra fire up towards him. They're going to need to be able to provide some cover, but then they just keep on fighting, keep on shooting. And Besiktas, they've continued a little bit of a battle. This time around, Unity's come in, and Unity were a team that did impress yesterday, just in how they were playing and the style. Even though, okay, you didn't get away with some big wins, but you were able to still always be there towards the end and always be fighting for some kills.
And what I like to see this time around isn't that people ain't fighting to go aggro on them. They're fighting to keep people away. I mean, it's like a reverse aggression, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're not aggressing to engage, they're aggressing to disengage. They want to say, like, if we keep shooting at you, you gotta run off at some point, right? And that's the kind of fighting that I like to see early game.
Now, we've gone back to an old style of avant-garde. Now, you guys can't see it, but if you are watching the map, they've only just entered in from the west. They went through the blue, took a little bit of damage as we like to see them do. It's kind of their little staple moment, take the longest rotation in. But they're behind everyone else right now. And this gives them the opportunity to try and fight up into this when it comes to actually going up against 3D Max, who aren't that far away. But also, they've done it almost around the similar times that we saw before. Have they gone back to the original game plan?
Well, I hope they have, because it was clearly working for them. Circle, as centered as can be once again. Reciprocity there in. And I like to see what we saw right there. Scoom, they were actually all sitting up on Potato where you saw them before. But Scoom started driving down towards School even before the circle popped, knowing that if it goes there, I have it already, so I don't have to worry about rotating. I could be met by other teams doing the exact same thing. And that's one of those things you're gonna do. Start that rotation a bit earlier than you even knowing, because worst case scenario, if it doesn't go towards you, you can always just turn around and go back.
Now, C-Corp, right? The rough team that they had in terms of where they started, they're going to be fighting off here and actually be very close to Reciprocity now. It's only Scoom that's come in. He's going to be just having a look around and saying, all right, guys, it's time for to come in. And this is kind of what they play. They were usually playing the 2-2 splits as Asherin. He's saying, all right, you stole our spot, now you paid a price. Waggo's going to be the first man picked off from 3D Max there. And they were some very on-point shots. And now look at Avantgarde charge forward. All right, one's down. Where's the rest of them?
And where are they headed to? I mean, that's going to be interesting. They got themselves a knock, and they saw kind of the direction they were going. And now Scoom saying, you know what, buddies? You can have apartments. I'm not going to sit around down here by myself. And that's, again, what I'm talking about. Sure, now they lost Rafi as well, so that's going to be even more of a factor.
Yeah.
But they do not want to fight early. They say, you know what? There's no reason for me to stay around here. There's no reason for the guys to come down here to fight. Guys, take it. If you want to, we'll find somewhere better later.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's knowing when to back away, because you can try and control that, but you already knew C-Corp pulled up on it. Then when Stella came, and he went, all right, there's too much at this point.
So and see DCing there. Of course, he was DC'd, so not a whole lot to do. Goes down and out.
I think he was DC'd, but he was crouched. It was like looking like the perfect hidey hole as well. He landed in the most perfect spot to DC from as well. It's like, no one knows I'm here. No free kill.
Poladera wants to get on out from here. He lost a teammate. Watch out, Rita! Hits the tree instead. I guess that's better than hitting your teammate. Does manage to get on up from there, get back down towards the compound. Smart play from them to make. Again, disengages all over the place, and I don't mind that at all. Called them into though.
Wow.
A lot of damage coming in there. 2 boys down from Unique. Desperados getting in on the action early on. And that's going to be Seacork actually not eliminated. That's some misinformation because we still have their team inside the middle. A little bug on your screen right there. 16 teams still in the game.
It was just like Sunzi was that important that when he did go down to the circle, he had to be eliminating the whole team as well. But the rest of them are still up and fighting. But who's not still up and fighting is OK Bro from Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Zen, they have found him, picked him apart. His teammates were not that close. They were just on the edge of it. And they're now starting to push in. Now, it's the teams that have just started to rotate in from the south, both Northern Lights and Unique, that have started to suffer the early casualties here. Unique just got picked apart completely by Desperados.
And that's the thing as well, is so Northern Lights losing OK Bro down there. They cannot push further up, because should this next circle go really far away, they need those vehicles to rotate, and they cannot start driving up now because they know Suklet Nam is there. So it's a really tough position for them to be in. The deep goes down, and once again the circle pretty much centers up completely. No hard shifts coming into the game so far at all. Potato is where we're going. Ubika now though on the run by himself, and there's not a whole lot of running to do. Blaston secures himself the kill and takes out Unique. It's 15th, 16th to make that place.
First team eliminated, and another team that has to be careful is Northern Lights. Zen, they are pushing down south. The Deep's gone down now as well. There's only 2 remaining, and this is where Zen, they smell the blood, they go on the hunt, and they want to get these early kills in here and force teams to play it in a way they don't want to.
And not only do they want the kills, but they want the control as well. They want to know that they have no one coming in from behind. Inside games, full push forward, doing everything they can to get something. But as you can see, this area of the map, guys, is already taken. And up they blow. Stamps and Sunday, not a whole lot more they can do right there.
Inside games believing they could take a little bit of presence in these compounds. And then they're like, oh, okay, there's Seacork, we'll work our way around. Oh no, there's Stellar. And if that didn't work, Reciprocity were just up on the hill as well. They were completely pinned in.
When you have 3 compounds remaining in the game, in Circle 3, don't drive towards them, because odds are they're taken at this point.
Oh, yes.
But of course, I mean, it is one of those things where, oh, I guess it's apps, we can just go there, commit to it, and then it's going to be that last resort sort of thing. But even the last resort was too much for them to do. Vasco knows that Miyachi is down behind that tree, just trying to spot a foot. Perfectix going for the... Oh, my lord! Aki?
Serious spray down.
No, did you see what happened? He threw a nade and timed it that the vehicle hit it. He threw a grenade 50 meters downhill and timed the explosion that the US drove into it. That is something that cannot be... I mean, it cannot be taught. It's just... Wow.
Maybe Zen are coming back around now.
Maybe they are. That could be the start of it, that's for sure.
They're certainly going in for more of these kills here. They've ripped apart Northern Lights already. There's just 1 player left alive in Miyachi who's just trying to run away now. They are going to start to run in, though, Tornado and Desperados, who have been holding this south side down. And this is the difference, right? Because they're already in the circle, and Zen have just got to keep their wits about and have a good look around here.
Yeah, also they got to figure, do we really want to try and third party this? Sure, they saw Combat and Tornado Energy push over towards Desperado, but is it going to be too much, or is it going to be too early for them to take this engagement? We know they want a third party, we know they want to take control, but don't go over-aggressive on this one. Miyachi as well running underneath, trying to say, you guys fight over here, I'll just run the opposite direction.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a waiting game here. We see Stella and Seagull going to be having a bit of battle while this one goes on top of the hill. Then started off strong. They get themselves the first knock, and they're actually going to get the kill onto Tozera. They're finding themselves more kills, and this is a Zen we're used to seeing. Kills galore, and there may be 2 teams there, but Zen are not scared in any scenario.
They need to do something aggressive now that they've given up their position. They know where everyone is. Nice spray down coming in from X team there to take down Miyachi. Northern Lights out in 14th place, so there's still a lot more fighting to be done. Calvin now, and Cold Lamenta, all that's left of Desperados, and they're in a really rough spot down here.
And Zen are just picking them apart, right? They've got the high ground, they're tapping them down, and they're allowing the other 2 teams to fight each other off, but it's going to be Tornado, the first one going out of all of them. But Desperados need to be oh so careful, because Coldamenta, he's just running around hoping he can pick his teammate up as Zen begin to swarm all over him.
And I like the third party that Suklet Nam did here. They never over-aggressed on anything. They took full control. They tried to play it smart, take control from uphill, and there you go. In the end, both the guys will go down. Aggie got knocked, should be able to get rest back on up, but 2 teams tried to fight each other. Suklet Nam came in and said, you know what? Keep doing that all day, guys. We'll just come here to third party.
Now, there was a lot of noise being said and done there, right? So they know there's a big fight going on top of the hill, but who's going to be able to join into it? Avangard's not too far away. Reciprocity got themselves up towards the west, but now Stella and Seacorp, they had the compounds, but they're soon going to have to move. 3D Max as well. They're sat in school, and they're right away from the circle now. The real benefit here is for Besiktas, and they're going to be very happy with this because they started off with a lot of confidence going in for these fights. They weren't looking to disengage, but now they've got themselves a good footing in terms of where this circle is.
Yeah, they lost a player earlier, I believe, and now they have to figure, how do we do this? We have the only compound remaining. School and apps has been shifted out of the compound that we saw we need a home sit in. Well, they did lost that home indeed, and now in the open we go. But how will Besiktas play this? Will they just sit around up here by the yellows? You see them on the screen right now, or will they try and spread out and get more control?
That's what it's about, right? One of the things that Reciprocity had over the other teams was the control of the circles, even when it was these open circles. And we've had a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yet again, another somewhat open game. Sure, you have trees here that'll grant you some cover, but not a whole lot more than that is going to be available. Phantom, nice scouting on forward, realizing this is open, turns around to pick up his last teammate. I like the strategies being pulled off here.
Yeah, play together. Just be careful of who's going to be near you, because Reciprocity having a good look around, and they can hear all that noise that the bike's been able to throw at them. Is it going to be one where they can pick them apart now? With 3D Max, they are a team where they need to stay together. Hydrix is a little bit too far away here, and they're going to be massively outnumbered, even with Reciprocity already being down one man.
See, the fight is going to happen once again in the southern edge. Whoever wins this one will have so much room to work their way around. Maxisol gets himself a knock onto Ival, so it's now only Vasco and Page remaining. Page gets himself one more, so it's a 2v2.
Even to play with, but these nades could do some serious damage. Asferin gets it in just in time. He's going to bring up Snoopy. They want to play the numbers game.
Ival had the high ground position to get himself into a better position to spot them. Nice headshot coming in from Maxisol there. Connected, well connected at that. So now only Page remaining on his team. It's going to be so difficult for him to do anything. 1v3, potentially 1v4. Should have not to get back up on his feet, and Page is making a run for it.
Yeah, Page just got a very rough job on his hands, and maybe 10 kills to come in there, but Maxisol finds him, finishes him off. And Zukten Nam, they are going to be eliminated next, so despite starting off very strong in terms of kills.
And that's the thing, right? They might go out in 11, but they get 11 kills as well off of it, so a whole lot coming their way. And now Besiktas, they're making the push on up. They're saying, you know what, we're not going to be sitting around in this building any longer. We're only 3 guys up, we can't cover it properly. Let's go out, let's do what we do best, fight as a team and see what we can do with it. Stella now, though, trying to do some damage, making the run on off, but there are so many teams around here.
Quick math, Reciprocity jumping in on Stella and Seacorp, not allowing them to move at all. The moment they jumped out of the compound, it was lights out, game over for them. And Quick math now just need to be cautious of who's around them, because Encelenso, he's a little bit further away, and Reciprocity is certainly on the lookout for him.
Yeah, and Encelenso is sitting back down behind the trees, trying to cover the angle from the east, and smart in doing so, because both Rita and the entirety of Unity are coming in from over in that direction. They don't want to push down, of course, because, well, I mean, it's a rather open area to run into. You can see it right there. He's out there all by himself. Ooh. Rita goes down. Caesar in, nice angle there. But now we're getting down to that final 5 teams alive, and I wonder, despite losing Rafi real early on, Reciprocity still in it.
And they're still getting kills as well as Scoom nades out Peltz. We're going to see if the rest of Quick Math can hold on to this, because this is a game Quick Math would certainly be happy with getting a high placement on. They've really struggled earlier on in these games, and it's time for them to try and shine and make this work. Now, Avangard is still up, Besiktas in it as well, but Unity with 4 players left alive. They've come from this eastern side, and they haven't really had to take some fights just yet, as more nades barrel out towards the Quick Math players, and Encelenso's the next one to get knocked.
That one was right on the money. We've seen some crazy utility plays today, and I'm sure we will be seeing a lot more of it coming in Tunnel. Now nade in hand, trying to throw it over towards Blaston. Might be able to get himself some damage done here. There you go, one more knock coming in.
And this is really nice from Besiktas, right? Putting the hurt back on to Unity. They may have been outnumbered, but now they've evened things up. Can they hold on to it? Can they continue to do damage? And that's exactly what they're looking to do.
Boom, tries to contain them inside the shack down here. They are still inside the circle, so don't need to move out, but you can see they're all trying to find a better angle to spot them, but at the same time constantly worrying about their 180, because as you can see, other teams are looking down towards them as well.
Scoom trying to desperately find some cover, and it's not going to work out for him. Snoopy finds the knock, and Jukestig's also found shit. Reciprocity, they may be up in the top 5, but now they're slowly being picked apart. They cannot find any sort of cover.
But this is the thing, right? I mean, if this is their bad games, if this is their bad games in top 5 still, that's absolutely insane.
And Hack said he's just chilling behind the crate drop, so he's got a tiny bit of cover to work from. He can allow the other teams to focus on everything else going on around him, so if he wants to just hide it out, there is opportunity for him to stay alive.
Tuho trying to get any sort of vision he can towards Erangel, but they won't let him have it. Now Unity is starting to chime in from the other side as well. And Daster says, thank you, buddy. I'll take myself that one. Quick math now, solo player remaining for his team. Hexedi, the exact same situation for him. Good headshot coming in there towards Maxisol. Has level 3 gear available, so he will be able to tank a few more bullets. And he's going to need that gear because there's so many teams looking towards him.
He's got the smokes to play with as well. Now his position is going to be known, but the question is, are they going to focus on him? Besiktas are coming in from the southeast side. Unity yet to push back into the circle. They've still got 30 seconds to do it, but they're heavily scoping around, making sure that they can't be sneaked up on because they know Besiktas already started to engage them and the ones that really cut down their numbers there.
See, Asper, he has the high ground position. He's looking on up, but as I said, they need to have a guy looking behind them. They fought Besiktas up here earlier. They know they were in this area, and they need to constantly be aware of what's behind them. Bait created, Jupsik, don't go for it. Don't leave your shack yet.
Stay safe, play it smart. You want to sit in for potentially keeping your team up into the top 4, top 3. There is potential for it. As Lux looks to be shot up on, but Max has all given the cover fire.
Great reaction from Maxisol, needed one too, but they had Asperin completely pinned down now. Tomil gives up his position. Shots immediately coming in return there as well. SLR straight to the face.
Now Lux is in a position where he could be res, but is it worth the risk for his teammates here? If they can maybe get one pick off or a kill onto Erangel, force Asperin to focus elsewhere, it could be a chance for him. Dupe6 being spotted though as he makes his move out. He's got a little bit of health zinked off him, and this is the problem, right?
Yeah.
Your position's known. The moment that circle comes in, you move. They are ready for you because everyone else is already in the circle.
That's the thing, and everyone else is already fighting each other, so Unity doesn't have to worry about anything but containing Dupe6 in there and waiting for him to die. They know it's a solo player remaining, and they want to get that placement.
Asperin manages to find Lux. There is still a knocked out Maxes also. It is technically a 2v2, but what can Besiktas do? This is one of the best placements they've had thus far.
And that's the thing, right? They want to get something more of it. Now, we don't have any 4-man teams remaining. The only 3-man squad we have up right now is Erangel. They have Maxisol. Not sure Snoopy is sitting down there resting him. And this could be the game that Erangel needs as well. Simsi making the push on down, taking out Asperin. That's going to be their flank down. Yupsik going down as well. Now it's just 2 teams remaining, or 2-man teams remaining, I guess you should say, with solos on the sides.
He's trying to stay in it now, shoots up onto Snoopy, knows he can do some damage. Simsy's the one to find it, but it's Unity that would have been hearing all of these shots, and they'll know where they can look and go and try and hunt down this last reciprocity player.
Hexedi has 22 bullets remaining. I sure do hope that he has something for close range as well, because there is not going to be enough ammo in that gun. You're going to keep shooting the way that you are right now. Tisserine charms in, and all of a sudden, all these duos have gone solo, and now it's only Unity sitting with 2 players alive. Remaining 3 teams have just 1 player each.
And this is huge because they were the team that had 4 players when everyone else only had like 3, 2, 1s left alive.
Yeah.
They got picked apart by Besiktas, but when they backed away, they were able to hold on to what they had.
And believe me, for any of these guys right now, if they see themselves 5 guys alive, okay, I die now. Holy cow, that's a headshot.
Whoa.
17 bullets remaining, and he is making every single one of them count.
Literally only needed 1. That was perfect. He's
There you
like,
go.
okay, I'll find some more of that, please. He put himself now into 3rd place. Thanks that he can back away at least a little bit now. Have a scout around, make sure no one's coming around the side of him. The problem is, everyone's actually gone down towards the south, so if Besiktas end up fighting up with Unity here, and it is only Tomil left, this could buy them some time to make it work, but they will have a good understanding of where Hexedi is, because he's been in this area for quite some time now.
Yeah, everyone's inside the circle, so no one's going to be forced to move, at least not just yet. It's going to be all up to how things are going to turn down. Hexedi swapping out the AK for the Grocer there. Could be smart for the close range engagements. But will he have the firepower needed to take down these guys? And also, how will things unfold? Because this could be a situation where the third party is not guaranteed a win, but most likely to get it, right? The guy that gets a chance to jump on the other guys could be the one to get the win. But right now, Hexedi is far off down the hill.
Tisserine popping a smoke further forward. Tomil doesn't want to push up too far.
And we'll also have to worry because he knows that Hexedi is further down. So he's looking on up the hill. He knows that they're up here, but he has to worry that he could be shot at from behind.
You see this Dash Dish has moved a little bit more center. Pretty much right on the center. Tisserine's there just backing him up from a little bit further behind. Tomil's just looking for any sort of an edge he can find. If he can get 1 player here, and start the knock.
Yeah.
You know Hacksetti's going to jump on it as well.
That's going to be their thing. If they can finish off one guy, then they can full on focus. Right now, they're trying to look at each their side, and that's technically the only smart thing they can do here. They have to just hold the angles. Dastis is sitting pretty much on the dot in the middle, and he just has to sit and wait and try to see if he can spot anyone pushing around the side.
Hacksetti moves up towards the car for a little bit of extra cover.
Just going.
Oh no, Tormil's found him, spraying him down. That's reciprocity eliminated, but still a respectful third place. But now Tormil's position's known. What can he do from here? Starts to spray him down. A lot of damage coming his way. Tries to give it back.